Right now, someone in the world is waking up at 4 a.m. to do what you are too comfortable to do at noon. Let that sink in. Somewhere out there, a fighter is running 5 miles in the dark. A swimmer is in a cold pool before the sun has even considered rising. An entrepreneur is reading, studying, refining, while the rest of the world sleeps. And the distance between who you are today and who you are capable of becoming is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even time. It is focus. It is the art. And make no mistake, it is an art of locking in. You have heard the word focus before. You have nodded along to it in interviews, seen it in motivational posts, written it on lists you forgot to follow. But locking in is something different. Locking in is not a tip. It is not a habit you add to your morning routine. Locking in is a state of being. It is deciding, truly deciding, that nothing, not the noise, not the doubt, not the exhaustion, not the opinions of the people around you, nothing gets in. The greatest athletes who have ever lived did not become great because they were born different. They became great because they found a way to shut out the world and enter a place most people never visit, a place of complete and total commitment. Today, we're going to go there together. Here's what the highlights reel does not show you. It does not show you Kobe Bryant in the gym at 4:30 in the morning, alone in a building that has not yet been unlocked for the day. It does not show you the 300 shots he would take before breakfast. Not because his coach told him to, not because his contract required it, but because he could not stop. Because the game was not a job to him. It was a compulsion, a calling. People just don't understand how obsessed I am with winning. Kobe Bryant. Not competitive, not motivated, obsessed. There is a distinction that matters enormously here. Motivation is something you feel when the moment is exciting. Obsession is something that lives in you when the moment has long since passed, when the crowd has gone home, when the cameras are off, when your body is telling you to stop and your mind is already thinking about tomorrow's session. If you really want to be great at something, you have to truly care about it. If you want to be great in a particular area, you have to obsess over it. Kobe Bryant. The Mamba mentality. The world will tell you that obsession is unhealthy. The world will tell you to find balance. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The people the world considers the greatest of all time were, by ordinary standards, deeply imbalanced. They chose their craft over comfort, over social life, over sleep, over ease. I wasn't willing to sacrifice my game, but I also wasn't willing to sacrifice my family time. So I sacrificed sleep. And that was that. Kobe Bryant. That is not advice for everyone. That is a window into a mind that has made a decision so complete, so total, that every other variable gets reorganized around it. What means everything to you? Tim Grover spent decades as the personal trainer to Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwyane Wade. He has stood inside the world of elite performance in a way that almost no one else has. And when he wrote about what separated those men from every other great athlete, he did not talk about vertical leap. He did not talk about hand-eye coordination. He talked about the zone. Anyone who has experienced the awesome power of the zone will tell you it's deeply calm. It's not relaxing or peaceful. This isn't yoga, but intensely focused. Once you're there, you have no fear, no worry, no emotion. You do what you came to do, and nothing can touch you. Tim Grover, Relentless. No fear, no worry, no emotion. Nothing can touch you. That is what locking in feels like at its highest level. If one thing separated Michael from every other player, it was his stunning ability to block out everything and everyone else. Nothing got to him. He was ice. Tim Grover, relentless ice. Not cold, not distant, not robotic. Ice, which is formed under pressure, which does not crack under heat, which holds its shape regardless of what surrounds it. When Jordan walked into an arena, he had already decided the outcome. The game was in many ways a formality. The real battle had been fought in the small hours, in the film room, in the gym, in the mind. By the time he stepped on the court, he had already locked in. Hours earlier, days earlier, months earlier. Control your thoughts, and you control your emotions. Control your emotions, and you control your actions. Control your actions, and you control the outcome. Tim Grover, Relentless. This is not motivational fluff. This is the architecture of a champion. Thought leads to emotion, leads to action, leads to outcome. If you cannot control the first step, your own thoughts, every other step is compromised. Locking in begins with a declaration of ownership. My mind is mine. My attention is mine. What I do with the next hour belongs to me. There is a particular kind of courage that does not get enough airtime. It is not the courage to start. It is the courage to lock back in. After you have lost, after you have been broken, after the world has written a different story about you. Serena Williams lost at the 2015 US Open semifinal, a result that by almost any measure was still extraordinary. But it was not the standard she had set for herself. Patrick Mouratoglou, who coached Serena to 10 of her 23 Grand Slam titles, described what happened next as a reconnection, not to technique or tactics, but to something deeper. He described it as helping her think like herself again. There is enormous wisdom in that phrase, because here is what happens to high performers under sustained pressure. They start performing for others rather than from themselves. They begin playing not to win, but to avoid losing. In the moment that shift happens, the lock-in is broken. You have to believe in yourself when no one else does. Serena Williams. Not when it is easy. Not when the crowd is behind you and your body feels perfect and the result seems inevitable. When no one else does. When the commentators have moved on. When the doubters are loudest. When the mirror shows you someone who is tired. That is when locking in is not a luxury. It is survival. Patrick Mouratoglou, in his book Champion Mindset, spoke about the drive he looks for in every champion he has coached. Champions possess a distinct mindset, a relentless drive for excellence that sets them apart. They're not content with just doing okay. They strive for excellence constantly. Being second is not an option for them. They aim for the top. Patrick Mouratoglou, Champion Mindset. You are not competing in a single moment. You are competing across the length of your career. And the people who win that long race are not necessarily the most talented at the start. They are the ones who figured out how to stay locked in when locking in was hard. There is a quote from Mike Tyson that stops you the first time you hear it. And it is not what you would expect from a man known primarily for his ferocity. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. Mike Tyson. Not doing it because you have to. Not gritting your teeth through it. Doing what you hate like you love it. That is a profound distinction, because most people confuse discipline with suffering. They think the harder something feels, the more disciplined they are. But the elite operate differently. They do not eliminate the difficulty. They change their relationship to it. Tyson was running 5 miles every single morning at 4 a.m. Not because it felt easy, but because he had aligned himself so completely with his purpose that the act of training was no longer separate from who he was. It was him. Without discipline, no matter how good you are nothing. Mike Tyson. And he meant it in the most complete sense. Because talent without discipline is a car with no driver. It moves sometimes unpredictably, sometimes brilliantly, but it has no destination. Discipline is what converts raw ability into consistent, repeatable excellence. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Mike Tyson. Every one of us at some point gets punched in the mouth, metaphorically, spiritually, professionally. The deal falls through. The injury arrives. The relationship ends. The project fails. And that moment is not the end of your story. It is the test. It is the question the universe is asking you. Are you locked in? Or were you just comfortable? You have to work hard in the dark to shine in the light. Kobe Bryant. The Mamba mentality. This is the secret that every champion knows and that every hopeful beginner eventually has to discover for themselves. There is no shortcut past the dark. The dark is where you are forged. The dark is where the people who will one day applaud you are still asleep. The dark is where your commitment is tested in absolute privacy, with no audience, no validation, no likes. Just you and the work. By reading, by paying attention in class and in practice, by working, I strengthened my focus. By doing all of that, I strengthened my ability to be present and not have a wandering mind. Kobe Bryant. The Mamba mentality focus is a muscle. It responds to training. It grows with use. It atrophies with neglect. And in the world we currently live in, a world of notifications, of constant stimulation, of social media algorithms designed specifically to steal your attention, the muscle of focus is, for most people, dangerously undertrained. The most radical act you can commit in the modern world is sustained, undistracted attention on the thing that matters most to you. That is what locking in looks like today. It is ruthlessly, stubbornly, defiantly focused in a world that profits from your distraction. Do the work. Every day, you have to do something you don't want to do. Every day. Challenge yourself to be uncomfortable. Push past the apathy and laziness and fear. Tim Grover. Relentless every day. Without exception. Without waiting for the right mood, the right circumstances, the right level of motivation. Motivation, after all, is a feeling. And feelings are weather. They change. Discipline is infrastructure. It is there regardless of the forecast. LeBron James did not become the greatest of his generation by accident. He became it through one of the most disciplined, sustained, long-term commitments to physical and mental excellence the sporting world has ever witnessed. He has famously described spending over £1 million a year on his body, on recovery, nutrition, sleep, training. And the question people always ask is, why? He had already achieved everything. Because LeBron does not play for the history books. He plays because the standard he has set for himself does not recognize retirement. Because the version of him that stops striving for excellence is not a version of him at all. This is what it means to truly lock in. It is not a phase. It is not a season. It is a permanent orientation towards growth, towards excellence, towards the fullest possible expression of what you are capable of. Patrick Mouratoglou, speaking about what separates great athletes from truly exceptional ones, said that focus is not just about intensity. It is about duration, sustaining full concentration over years, over careers, over the arc of a life. The athlete who can maintain that focus when they are ranked number one in the world, when comfort has arrived, when the work no longer feels urgent, that athlete is rare. That athlete has truly mastered the art of locking in. And here's what you need to understand. This does not only apply to sport. Every person watching this is engaged in a competition against their own untapped potential. Whether you are an athlete, a business owner, a parent, a student, someone rebuilding their life from the ground up, the principles are identical. Lock in, show up, do the work in the dark, trust the process, and then do it again tomorrow. We need to talk honestly about something. Locking in costs something. Not everyone tells you that. The motivational posters do not mention the solitude that comes with total commitment. Cleaners have a dark side and a zone you can't enter. They get what they want, but they pay for it in solitude. Excellence is lonely. Tim Grover, relentless excellence is lonely. That is not a warning to stop you. That is a truth to prepare you. When you decide to lock in completely, some people will not understand. Some will think you have changed. Some will drift away. Some will mistake your focus for arrogance, your discipline for coldness, your commitment for obsession. Let them. Because here's the other truth. The people who stay, the people who see what you are building and choose to be beside you through it, those people are priceless. And the life you are building, the version of yourself you are creating, the standard of excellence you are committing to, that is a gift. Not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. The only way you can light other people on fire is to be lit yourself from the inside. Tim Grover, Relentless. You cannot inspire from an empty tank. You cannot lead from a place of comfort. You cannot be the person others look to when they need to find their own fire if your own fire has gone cold. Locking in is, in the end, an act of generosity. It is giving everything you have to the thing you were made to do. It is refusing to let your potential go unexpressed. It is showing up for yourself, for the people who believe in you, for the future version of you that you have not yet met. I want to speak to you directly now, not to the crowd, not to the concept, to you. There is a reason you are here. There is a reason today, of all days, that something in you needed to hear this. Maybe you have been coasting. Maybe you have been telling yourself that you are fine when fine is not what you came here to be. Maybe you had a goal that excited you once and you have not visited it in a while. Maybe you are in the middle of something hard and you needed to be reminded that hard is not a sign you are failing. Hard is a sign you are doing something that matters. Everything negative, pressure, challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise. Kobe Bryant. Not to survive, not to cope, to rise. The pressure you are feeling right now is not punishment. It is potential. It is the weight of the person you have not yet become, pressing down on the person you currently are, asking you to expand. Serena Williams won Grand Slam titles in 4 different decades. She came back from childbirth, from injury, from loss, from the kind of physical and emotional difficulty that would have ended most careers. And she did it by refusing to accept a smaller version of herself. Mike Tyson rebuilt himself from the lowest possible floor and reminded the world that character is not fixed at birth. It is forged in the choices you make when everything has gone wrong. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He was told no He was told not yet. And he took that rejection and used it for the rest of his life. Every single one of them locked in not when it was easy, but when it was impossibly, unreasonably, brutally hard. So can you. This is where we end. And this is where you begin. Not tomorrow. Not when the conditions are perfect. Not when you feel ready, because you may never feel ready. Now. Right now, make a decision. A real one. Not a resolution. Not a promise you will revisit in a week. A decision made so completely that everything from this moment forward is organized around it. Decide what you are locking in on. Your training, your craft, your health, your business, your purpose. The thing that, when you are honest with yourself in the quietest moments, you know you are meant for. And then commit to it the way Kobe committed, the way Serena committed, the way Iron Mike, in his relentless, complicated, extraordinary way, committed to becoming something the world had never seen. Tim Grover's instruction was simple. 5 words that contain an entire philosophy. Decide, commit, act, succeed, repeat. Tim Grover, Relentless. There is no 6th step. There is no exit. The repeat is eternal, because the standard of a locked-in life is never finished. There is always more to give. There is always a higher level to reach. There is always a version of yourself waiting on the other side of the next commitment you make. Go find that version. Work in the dark. Shine in the light. Lock in. The mindset isn't about seeking a result. It's more about the process of getting to that result. It's about the journey and the approach. It's a way of life. Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality.